Welcome everyone to this online and pre-recorded orientation program. Firstly, I would like to thank the UniZulu Management Committee under leadership of Professor Mtose, our Vice Chancellor, for making UniZulu a learning institution that is law-abiding. Secondly, I would like to thank our Dean, Professor Nokuthula Kunene, and the Deputy Deans, Professor Lehlonye and Dr. Mudali, for having allowed our students to have such an orientation whereby they are taken care of. This orientation is a sign that our faculty is reaching out to our students as they come back on campus. We are welcoming them on campus, but at the same time, we want to ensure that their stay in campus is free from any harm. They shouldn't be exposed to any untoward exposure to COVID-19 infections. Therefore, we have a variety of speakers that will be telling them, acknowledging the things that are out there, making them aware of so that they can be safe. This is happening also based on the call that was announced by the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Blade Nzimande, to acknowledge certain activities, academic or learning activities, as needing some kind of attention. These include laboratory experimentations, students that are in their finalist year who are about to finish, activities including practical and clinical hours, as well as formative practical assessments. Therefore, students are brought back for that particular reason. I will be facilitating these online presentations or this online program. We have a variety of presenters. Each of them will be presenting from a different perspective. Before I present you with the first presenter, I would like to address some of the housekeeping rules. Since this is an online orientation program, please make sure that you watch it or you acknowledge it from the beginning to the end. Also ensure that all these things that will be discussed by each speaker or each presenter, you take them into practice. Thank you very much. Okay, this is our program, and I will not be calling upon the presenters after each one so that I can allow the easy flow of the program, but they will come in this sequence. We will have Mrs. Mandisa Poswa, the faculty manager, followed by Mrs. Nokuthula Ndlovu, who is the clinical psychologist, and then Mr. Sizwe Mabena, the subject specialist librarian for postgraduate students in the faculty. And then we will also have Professor Khobotso Lehlonye, and then Dr. Themba Madlala, and then after which we will have the vote of thanks by Dr. Jane K, who is the acting head of HOD in the Department of Nursing. And thank you very much.
My name is Mandisa Poswa. I'm the faculty manager for science and agriculture. I'd like to welcome you guys back to campus. Now, this is a presentation that we put together for postgraduate students on returning back to campus, and it is actually based on the level 3 regulations when we first made our application. So I'll be sharing my screen right now in order to share the presentation with you. Okay, so once again, I'm in the Dean's office. I'm the faculty manager, and I'll be just giving you guys an orientation on the use of labs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, importantly, we need to understand before we actually talk about anything about the legislative provisions of where we actually sanction the authority and what actually guides us. So we have legislative provisions that are actually based on the Disaster Management Act 57 of 2002, where the Department of Higher Education actually gave directions on the criteria to return to public university and private higher education campuses. This is a risk-adjusted strategy that was actually gazetted under level 3. So this was actually gazetted on the 8th of June, 2020. Now you will see there's a lag between you guys returning and the 8th of June. And that was to ensure that all systems were in place before you actually came back to campus. So now, in terms of the principles that actually do guide us, all right, these were actually provided by DHEAD. It is a risk-adjusted strategy that there should be gradual opening of activities, so not everything at all at once, to ensure that there's preparedness of infrastructure. So while you guys were away, there were a lot of preparations underway to ensure that the campus is ready for you guys when you return. And the screening of staff, as you would have seen when you come through the gate, students as well as general public that actually come through the gate. And this is really all based on the principles that have been provided by the Department of Higher Education and Training. Importantly, we need to ensure that there is physical distancing, implementation of hygiene protocols as per the government regulations, mitigation of health and safety risks need to be built into the daily life and work of all institutions. And I will really be taking you on the daily life of how you are actually expected to conduct yourselves in the lab. And most importantly, it is the minimization of spreading of the virus. So importantly, DHEAD has a principle that there should be a phased-in approach to the return of students to campus. That is, not all students coming back to campus at the same time, but rather phase it in. And then institutions then need to submit plans to the Department of Higher Education and Training. And then the plans are actually monitored by DHEAD. So we make applications for students to come in, submit to DHEAD, and then DHEAD monitors how these are actually implemented. Now, importantly, students are only supposed to return to campus when they have received communication from the university to return to campus. That is why you guys would have received a permit prior to you coming to campus. We are also guided by Higher Health, which has also provided us guidelines as higher education. Now, importantly, I did mention that this was put together while we're based on level 3 regulations. At the time, the maximum was looking at about 33% of the population. So let's look at COVID compliance. Now, the Faculty of Science and Agriculture has compiled a checklist for all labs within the faculty to ensure readiness and compliance for the returning postgrad students. The checklist is actually included the following preparation for your return as you come back to campus. We have a checklist, and this was guiding all departments within the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. We had to adjust workspace in order to ensure that there is social distancing when you work in the labs. That is about making sure about 1.5 meter floor markings or physical barriers you will see when you go into the labs. You will see that some labs have 4 floor aisles that actually are directional, so you can see the arrows in order to avoid bumping into each other and promote physical distancing. You will also see that in some desks in the labs, there are markings to ensure distancing yourself from other students. You will see there are markings where it tells you that you can't sit there, all right? You may see that there is a cross that indicates that nobody should actually sit there. And then we've got ventilation, which is quite important in the lab for compliance. And we need to do this either by natural or mechanical means. We need to keep doors open or keep windows open. But importantly, we shouldn't switch on the air conditioner unless it gives in new air. We don't want to circulate the virus within the labs. And then most importantly is the wearing of your mask, all right? So if you have no mask, you will not be allowed into the lab. So no mask, no access to the lab. So it is mandatory, as you guys would know, to actually wear a mask in the lab and around campus. Also, in terms of the hygiene protocol, you need to sanitize your hands before coming into the lab. Dispensers have been placed everywhere. You will see there are sanitizers that have been made available for you. You need to sanitize your workstation, all right? Because you also have been given the sanitizer. So before you start working, you actually wipe the area you're going to work in down. And once you are done again, you wipe it up. There's a paper towel that has been provided for you guys, and it also the sanitizer, so you wipe your working area. Also, we need to adjust our working processes just in compliance with the COVID-19. We need to sanitize frequently high-touch surfaces. So these are areas that a lot of people tend to handle, like your door handle, your stair rails, bathrooms. So when we're cleaning, we need to ensure that these are actually cleaned quite often with a sanitizer. Importantly, you need to sanitize your hands quite frequently. So that means you need to actually sanitize or wash your hands every 20 minutes. And then you need to minimize the use of confined spaces with another person as far as possible. So if you can avoid sharing, rather do that. So avoid sharing a car or a small control room in order to avoid spreading the virus. And then we have the Higher Health app, which is quite important. You guys need to do this every single day before you come into the lab. Now, there are 3 ways in which you can actually access this health tech app. The first one is you can go to the web address there, which is the healthcheck.higherhealth.ac.za, or you can dial *134*832*2#, or you can add to your phone a contact, and you will see the WhatsApp contact for that number, which is 0600 110000. Now, basically what happens is the app will ask you a set of questions, and once you've answered, the app will send you a confirmation of whether you are low risk, and based on that, if you are cleared, it will be green, and you can then enter campus. But if it is any other way, it will actually indicate what you should actually do instead. And then continuing with our compliance, we have general compliance, all right? So you need to check your temperature daily and answer the questions on the register that has been made available in your lab. Now, in all the labs within the Faculty of Science, we have thermoscans. So you will need to actually take your own temperature, or the lab assistant will take your temperature. But you will see that when you go to the lab, there is a register that has been put together, all right, that we use within the faculty. You need to actually put in your name, surname, your contact details, your temperature, and you will need to answer whether you've been in contact with anyone that has been affected by COVID-19 within the last 21 days, or if you have had it within the last 21 days, it will ask you whether you have a dry cough, a headache, whether you have any muscle aches or stiffness, any difficulty breathing, all right, or if you have a deteriorated sense of smell. You need to fill this in every single day when you come into the lab. Now, you'll also find that in your labs, you may have a departmental roster, all right, to promote staggered access to the lab, or you may find that there are alternating schedules. The idea is to ensure that not everybody comes into the lab at the same time. So as you see over here, you will see that maybe somebody will come in on a Monday at a certain time, another one will come in on a Tuesday, but you may find that in some departments, because of the low number of postgrads, they don't need to have the roster. There is still enough space to ensure that there is social distancing. Now, importantly, with the compliance, in case, unfortunate case that you actually test positive or suspect that you may be exposed, please do not come into the lab. Rather, please inform your supervisor, and please don't do this physically. Rather, you call them or you email them, because you also don't want to make them sick. And then if there is a need, you will need to seek medical help. Also, the site where you're working will need to be closed down for deep cleaning. Now, there are a few points I'd like you guys to remember. All right, so at the start of your day, as I mentioned, you will need to complete the questions on the Higher Health app. If it is green, then you can proceed to the lab as per the departmental roster. And again, I want to re-emphasize, wearing of a mask is mandatory on campus, not necessarily just in the lab, but around campus, it is mandatory that you guys wear a mask. Also, you need to sanitize your hands and the area that you're working in regularly. Remember, I said you wipe down before you start working, and you also wipe after you have done working on your area. And then you need to complete the daily register, which includes taking your temperature daily before you actually start your work. And most importantly as well, make sure you social distance. Make sure the barriers that have been put there, you actually adhere to ensure that you have a space of at least 1.5 meters between the next person. Now, things I'd like you guys to remember not to do, all right? Please do not come into the lab just to visit someone, all right? So you are called back to come back to campus because you have work to do. So you can't just come into the lab to visit somebody, all right? And then do not come to the lab if you are feeling sick. If you're feeling like you have some flu symptoms or you suspect that you may have been exposed to COVID-19, rather do not come into the lab. Notify your supervisor that you're not feeling well and ensure that you don't make other people sick or expose yourself to more virus. And make sure that at any given time within the department, you must not be more than 50 in a venue. And if you have any concerns or queries with the compliance of the COVID-19 guidelines and protocols within your department, please ensure you liaise with your supervisor with your queries, or you can speak to your HOD or the safety and health rep in your department. If you still feel you're not finding any joy and there's no compliance or you have any questions, you can then come through to the Dean's office and actually alert us of the issue that you'd like us to attend to. And I thank you.
My name is Mrs. Nobutula Spiwogutendlovu. I'm a counseling psychologist at the University of Zululand at the Student Services Department under the Guidance and Counseling section. I'm going to be doing a brief presentation of the services that we offer in our section and briefly explain what are the things that we do in our section, and at the end I'll give you the contact details where students. The overview of this presentation will look at the introduction, our vision and mission, the purpose of the section, the services that we provide, and then I'll conclude. And then I will then give you contact details. When we look at the introduction, remember I told you that the Student Services is a department, and then the Guidance and Counseling is the section under the Student Services Department. Then SSD is responsible for providing strategic direction to student support services. Student support services are those services that seek to develop an exciting, stimulating, and a supportive campus environment. It also seeks to create an environment that enhances students' learning in a multiple level. And then it focuses on engaging students' potential in order to assist students towards achieving their personal and academic goals, and also help students to develop into responsible and responsive citizens for the. And then we'll look at our vision and mission for the whole department as a whole. Our vision is to be the leading comprehensive student services orientated department, and our mission seeks to effectively and efficiently provide the integrated services that are aimed at creating a student-centered environment underpinning by safety, good health, and wellness. And then let us go on to the purpose of the Guidance and Counseling as a section, because a Student Services Department is divided into, I think, about 5 sections. So the Guidance and Counseling is just one of them. The Guidance and Counseling section pursues the following strategic themes in order to help the department in accomplishing its mission and vision. And then those strategic themes are the psychosocial support, personal development, career guidance, awareness on psychological issues, as well as graduate recruitment. Then let's move at the services that we provide as a section. In the beginning of the year, we give out the full orientation program, which talks about everything that happens around campus. It may be something that has to do with academic, it may be something that has to do with the social life, housing, everything that happens in our university. And then we look at the self-knowledge. When we talk of self-knowledge, we help students to choose in choosing their career. We help them to adjust to tertiary adjustment. We also help them in the way of relating with others, and then we also assist them in resisting peer pressure, and then we move on to their study skills. With study skills, we also encourage students with attending classes, practicing and practicals as well as tutorials. We also do time management with them, help them in their assessment and their assignment, as well as academic. And then we help them through the exam preparation. We know when they are preparing for their exam, they tend to be anxious, they tend to be stressful, and all of those. Then we help them to improve their academic performance as well as emotional stress associated with studies and their workload. And then number 5, we do counseling. In counseling, we help them how to deal with their personal problems, stress and anxiety, as well as depression. We also assist during in their time of grief, bereavement. We also help them with the harassment issues, family or relationship conflicts. We also do drug and substance abuse awarenesses, as well as we also offer support. And then we also do job hunting skills, which is CV writing, interview skills, and all the preparation that goes into job hunting. And then we move on to personal development, whereby we help students develop their self-confidence as well as assertiveness, and also help them becoming the best person that they can be, and also how to deal with their unhealthy backgrounds, because we know that they all come from different backgrounds. Some are more healthy than others, but we also help them to deal with those unhealthy ones if they may be a need for. And then we move on to graduate recruitment programs, whereby graduate recruiters are invited to recruit the graduates for job in big South African companies. This is done with other university departments like our CMD, academic faculties, and others. In conclusion, as a student counseling section, what we look at, we use a holistic approach. That means we provide support that looks at the person as a whole, not just their mental health needs, but we support them physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually, and then we know that we have assisted the student holistically, and that gives us pride that our students, when they come to this university, they get they get all the assistance that they need. May it be issues relating to where they come from, or the difficulties of where they come from, the difficulties that they are faced with when they are here at the university. It may be their health issues, you name them, but we make sure that we assist our students as a whole in a holistic approach. And then our contact details in our department, we have Ms. Makalima, who is our HOD. And then we have myself, Mrs. Ndlovu, who is a counseling psychologist. We also have Mr. Sim Bizania, who's also a counseling psychologist. And then we have Mr. Makanya, who is a spiritual counselor. So here are our contact details. So if any students need to contact us, they can do so via email or WhatsApp. I thank you.
I'm Sizo Mabena for the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. I'm here to provide you some information about what is it that we do during this lockdown. As we are trying by all means to make sure that we assist our students even if we are on lockdown. So we are pleading with our users as a library to take advantage of our 24-hour online services, access to information databases, and you can get this information when you log in or use our URL, that is library.unizulu.ac.za/electronic resources. Once you click into this link, you will get a lot of online databases that can assist when you are doing your research, when you are doing your assignment. As well, we have a platform called Ask a Librarian that we have. If you have any questions, you send us those questions via Ask a Librarian. We'll immediately answer you. We operate between 8 o'clock and 3 o'clock. But if you reach us outside of those operating hours for now, we'll immediately answer your questions after the following day. And again, we've got 24/7 access into our electronic resources. Off campus, you use to connect via Moodle and Open Athens. Open Athens uses your login details that you use as you open your Moodle, as you open your laptop in the morning. If you are staff, you use your credentials as you know them. If you are students as well, the very same student login details that you use to access your Wi-Fi, you use those login details to access Open Athens, which will lead into our electronic resources. We've got access to additional information and knowledge resources provided by publishers, vendors during this COVID-19 pandemic. We support research, teaching related activities online. We support online teaching, learning programs. We acquire open access and electronic books for you to be able to access them without coming on campus, because we realize that ebooks are really assisting our students that are not on campus. So we are trying by all means to get more and more of e-content. We provide this learning and research support by offering virtually library workshops via Zoom, Big Blue Button, and Microsoft Teams. We provide consultations online by telephone, WhatsApp, those that have our contacts, also in person by arrangement, but it should be just one person, but that person should know that you need to send an email and request that face-to-face consultation. But if we can be able to assist you online, we try by all means so that we don't get any contacts with our users. We assist academics online or in person on how to select open access and ebooks via ECM. ECM is our EBSCO-host platform where you buy ebooks and Gobi as well. And we provide our academics on how, we provide training to our academics on how to order these ebooks. We publish online LibGuides to assist our users during this period, because we realize as well that our users are struggling to access. There are no instructions sometimes, so we have created a platform where we provide instruction on how to access our databases. All the steps that you need to know. You need to log into our LibGuides, and these LibGuides are arranged according to departments because the content is not the same, and electronic resources are different from a physics students and the consumer science students. We need to provide on those LibGuides all the relevant information for that specific department. So we encourage lecturers to share these LibGuides with students so that we can assist them and they can consume this knowledge with ease. We provide reading list and creating permanent link for ebooks, chapters, and journals, articles for embedding it in Moodle. We're managing Moodle Library Services module called LS101 under each faculty. We provide online support and assist via Ask a Librarian services, provide teaching and research support by offering virtual library workshops, consultation via Zoom, Big Blue Button, and Microsoft Teams. We also have interlibrary loan that is available online. And if you are utilizing, you can utilize our LibGuides. You will realize that there's a section for ILL. You will see the steps there on how to utilize our online ILL, interlibrary loan services, so that you can borrow these materials from other universities only if we do not have that type of material that you are looking for, and you should be a postgraduate student or you should be an academic or a support staff. We don't do it for our undergraduate students. We also provide budget for different faculty, for different departments. Like last time I made an example with nursing, how they are spending their books and their budget for buying books and how much are they left with. So that during this period, they get to know if they can continue to order this online material. And we're encouraging lecturers to make sure that they order e-copies, because during this time, if you buy ebooks, it's going to be difficult to receive it now, but ebook is easier, but a hard copy is not easy. It takes longer, but ebook is processed within a week. We have access to it. Our new virtual services are, as you can see, we are using Zoom, we've got LibGuides, we've got Big Blue Button, we've got Ask a Librarian, and Microsoft Teams. Ask a Librarian service is an instant messenger service which enables library users to instantly chat with library staff and seek assistance. They can do this by clicking on the chat, on the link that will be placed on EDS, that is EBSCOhost Discover Services. You need to get into EBSCOhost Discover Services, then you will see that icon that will be popping up at the bottom, allowing you to click into it and chat with a librarian. As you can see, we've got different LibGuides. When you click on LibGuides, this is what you are going to get from our website. Again, I made an example of a nursing science LibGuide. It was accessed by 26 users by the 31st of August. I haven't updated it today, but it's where you go and see a relevant LibGuide for your department. LibGuide is an easy-to-use content management system deployed at thousands of libraries worldwide. Librarians use it to curate knowledge and share information, organize subject-specific resources, and promote information literacy among students. Each LibGuide has the necessary information on how to access library resources and search for ebooks, search for e-resources, information and reference management tools, e.g. EndNote, Mendeley, and so on. And plagiarism and other important topics are also covered on our LibGuides. LibGuides are available at the library webpage that is provided, that is library.unizulu.ac.za, or you can go straight to unizulu.libguides.com. As you can see, we've got the following LibGuides that are ready. In fact, all of them now are published for each and every department. Nursing, zoology, mathematical sciences, Department of Hydrology, Human Movement Sciences, Consumer Science. In fact, all our departments have got their own LibGuides now. We've got the following model for our research support. We've got your know your library, stay away from plagiarism, turn it in e-resources, reference made easy, EndNote, finding thesis and dissertations, interlibrary loans, researcher and social networking, publishing your research, predatory publishing, research impact and research identity, enhancing postgraduate environment. This is our model for our postgraduate or for our research support. But again, we are not only focusing on research support, we also have undergraduate students that we provide ebooks, know your library, stay away from plagiarism, press reader, reference made easy, EndNote, e-resources tips for searching and more. We provide these so that when we have these ebooks, at least they are used optimally. And we do the training of stay away from plagiarism for a number of reasons. We don't want the university to be having any issues around copying. We make sure that our students are aware of these steps that you need to follow when you are writing your assignment. Press Reader is also an international database that is providing us with newspapers online. As you can see, we've got an additional sitting space in our library that is more accommodative of our students. It's beautiful, and we are ready for the students as they are going to be coming in. As you can see, we leave a space in between. Those chairs that are having white ropes cannot be moved. They are tightly tied against a desk. You can only utilize the loose chairs. And we make sure that we keep that social distancing at the library. We've got extra reading space on our 6th floor. We allow students to come in and utilize those areas. Thank you. Then I will get questions at a later stage. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Let me greet everyone and once again welcome back to the university under COVID-19 pandemic. I am Professor Lehlwenya, Acting Dean for Research and Internationalization in the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. My talk to you today will highlight academic support provided to postgraduate students. My talk will highlight important information that you need to know before conducting your experiment, rules and regulations that you must be aware of, postgraduate workshops presented virtually during lockdown, library support, as well as writing center support. For the rules and policy arrangement, you should understand that the process of studying your research is initiated by having a memorandum of understanding between the supervisor and the student. The purpose of a memorandum of understanding is to outline the rules of engagement between the two parties to avoid surprises or potential abuse of the process. The rules of engagement outlines meetings, expectations, and responsibilities from both parties. Once the agreement is established, the student will be guided through proposal writing by the supervisor. When the supervisor is satisfied with the readiness of the proposal, the departmental and faculty reviews will start. And when the student has responded to the recommendations to the satisfaction of the supervisor, then the supervisor will send the documents for registration of the project to the faculty board, which will be sent to the higher degrees and the ethics committee for approval by the institution. And the ethics committee will then issue the ethical clearance certificate. It should be noted that no research project can be conducted without the ethical clearance certificate. The other thing in the rules and policy arrangement that I want you to highlight is prevention of plagiarism. Prevention of plagiarism is done through proposal writing. When the documents are submitted to the faculty board, they must have an embedded record reflecting evidence of plagiarism. Also, upon submission of dissertations or theses, the students must also embed a record reflecting evidence of plagiarism check. And this is guided by the policy and procedures on prevention of acts of plagiarism. So now I want to highlight to you what it entails from admission to registration of a project in details. So firstly, after you have been admitted, then you're going to be guided through proposal writing by your supervisor. As I've explained, once the supervisor is satisfied with the quality of the proposal, then the supervisor will call a departmental's meeting where the student will now present the proposal. Following the corrections by the student to the satisfaction of the supervisor, then the supervisor will submit the proposal to the faculty reviewers. And this process will take about 2 weeks. Once the reviews have been made, then the student will respond to the reviews to the satisfaction of the supervisor. And now the supervisor will arrange through the dean's office for the student to present the proposal to the faculty panel. The faculty panel will once again make recommendations, and the student will have to amend the proposal to the satisfaction of the supervisor. And once the supervisor is satisfied with the readiness of the proposal and the quality of the proposal, then will submit the proposal to the ethics review. It should be noted that in other qualifications, there are again other forms that must be attached to the proposal when it is submitted to the ethics review. For example, in the studies that are involving animal research, the student must also complete the animal ethics application form. Also, other documents that must be attached for other studies, like where questionnaires are going to be conducted, an informed consent form, the questionnaire, the permission letter should also be attached when submitting the documents to the ethics review. Once the application has been signed by the chairperson of the ethics review of the ethics committee, then the supervisor will submit the proposal with other documents that are registering the supervisors as well as the project, so that now they can go to the higher degrees and the university ethics committee for approval. And now the university ethics committee will issue the ethical clearance certificate. And it means now the student can start conducting the experiments. This process is supposed to take 6 months, but you can realize that this is a very rigorous process. So that's why I said it is important that you take note of this roadmap, and you can find this in the postgraduate handbook from the faculty. I also want to highlight to you the postgraduate workshops that are provided to the student in order to help them with the information to go about with their research. The faculty presented a series of virtual postgraduate workshops aimed to provide you with the information about access to opportunities and resources at the University of Zululand that can assist you to develop and enhance your postgraduate studies as well as research. The workshops introduced you to research, how to generate knowledge, know your library, how to go about compiling literature review, proposal writing and presentation, career in research, research ethics, research design, data collection, data analysis, interpreting and theorizing research, preparation, design and presentation of a poster, oral presentation skills, writing dissertations and theses, how to access social network in research, as well as publishing the results. All these presentations can be accessed from the faculty postgraduate Moodle through the link that is provided in this slide. The next support that I want to highlight to you is the library support, which is actually the main support for research. I will just highlight a few things, as the library is also in the lineup for this orientation. The library has resources and facilities to support research. For example, the study cubicles, the e-labs, and research commons, which are reserved for postgraduate students. And I have also provided you with the contact of Ms. Hadebe, who is responsible for the Research Commons. The library provides support through library literacy and library and information systems. Concerning the services offered by the library to postgraduate students, you can contact Mr. Sizwe Mabena, and I have also given the contact email for Mr. Sizwe. But I just want to highlight some of the services that the library is providing to postgraduate students. These include assistance for e-catalog usage, the use of databases, the use of general referencing work, inter alia information. There are also trainings that are provided, such as on how to avoid plagiarism, the use of Turnitin, e-resources available, referencing using EndNote and Mendeley, finding dissertations and theses from University of Zululand and across South African universities. The last thing that I want to talk to you about today is the support that is provided by the Writing Center. The center offers a variety of academic writing skills. It gives face-to-face academic support to the students with language problem skills. But you should know that the supervisors should refer a student with such problems. The center offers many programs focusing on academic and creative writing skills, public speaking and communication skills, ability to express thoughts clearly and logically, as well as referencing techniques. This brings us to the end of this presentation, and thank you for your attention. I have also provided you with my contact details if there is any further information that you would like to know concerning the support that is provided to postgraduate students.
Coronavirus 2019, or COVID-19, a virus that has negatively affected not only the health fraternity in the whole world, but our everyday lifestyles as well. This pandemic has caused some immense damage, which has resulted into over millions of reported cases and over 900,000 deaths. I am with Mr. M.V. Makoso, the clinical instructor, and I'm also with Mr. L. Mapumulo, finalist student nurse at the Department of Nursing Science. They will be assisting with the carrying over of the demonstrations. Hi, I am Dr. Sipiwe Matala from the Department of Nursing Science at the University of Zululand. I am here to present the equipment that will help you in keeping you safe during COVID-19, while you are on campus or during work-integrated learning. I will be presenting and demonstrating these equipment on how they can be properly worn. First, it is the safe use of fabric cloth mask, a fabric face mask, or non-medical mask for the general public is only part of the broader solution to curb the spread of COVID-19. It must always be used in combination with other hygienic methods of prevention such as personal hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene, physical or social distancing. Each person will need to have at least 2 cloth face masks. Requirements: 2 face masks, hand sanitizer with a foot control stand, hand washing basin with running tap water, hand soap and paper hand towels, foot control dustbin with a lid. Donning of the cloth face mask. Only use a mask that has been washed and ironed. Wash your hands or use hand sanitizer before putting on a mask. Place the mask with the correct size facing your face and ensure that it covers both your nose and mouth properly. Hook elastic straps around your ears. Make sure that it fits well. Move it around to get the best fit using straps. Never touch the cloth part. Once you have put on the mask, do not touch your face or fidget with the mask again until you take it off. Face masks should not be lowered when speaking, coughing, or sneezing. Doffing of cloth face mask. Unhook the mask straps over your ears. Hold it by elastic straps. Place the mask in a container reserved for washing the cloth mask. Wash your hands thoroughly for 20 seconds. Dry before doing anything else or use hand sanitizer. Wash cloth face mask with warm soapy water. Rinse thoroughly. Iron it when it is dry. Personal protective equipment, commonly referred to as PPEs. These are equipment worn to minimize exposure to hazards, viruses that may cause serious transmission of illnesses such as COVID-19. PPEs can be worn by students during their practical exposure at the institutions such as hospitals, industries, laboratories, etc. Safety use of personal protective equipment. The requirements: surgical mask, N95 respirator, face shield, non-sterile gloves, plastic apron, laboratory white coat, food control stand and hand sanitizer, food control dustbin with a lid. Donning of the PPE. Before entering the laboratory or clinical practice area, perform hand hygiene by using alcohol-based sanitizer or wash your hands using water and soap for 20 seconds. Put on the plastic apron or the laboratory white coat and fasten the buttons. Then put on the plastic aprons over your white coat. Put on the N95 respirator. Place the respirator covering the nose and mouth. Pull the straps around your ears, then ensure proper seal around the nose. Confirm the proper seal by taking deep breath in and out. Put on the face mask. Firstly, identify the inner part of your mask by showing the creases facing up, and the outer part whereby the creases will be facing down on your mask. Put on the surgical mask over your nose and pull over your chin, covering your mouth. Pull the elastic straps over your ears. Put on the face shield on your forehead, adopting sniffing position. Then pull the elastic straps over your head. Put on the gloves. Now you are ready to work in the laboratory or to do clinical practice. Doffing off the PPE. Before leaving the laboratory or clinical practice area, remove the gloves using the glove-in, glove technique. Peel down the glove inside out using the ungloved hand. Slide the fingers underneath the wrist of the glove. Pull the glove inside out and discard in the dustbin. Remove your plastic apron by snapping ties around your neck, then around your waist. Carefully remove the plastic apron without touching the outside of the apron, then discard in the dustbin. Removing the laboratory white coat. Unbutton the coat. Pull one sleeve out, followed by the other arm without touching the front part of your coat. Roll it inside out and place it in the basket for washing with warm water and soap, then iron. If working at the hospital, exit the patient's room. Remove the face shield by pulling the elastic straps over your head away from your face without touching the front part of the face shield, and discard in the dustbin. Removing the N95 respirator. Grab the straps and bring them over your ears, keeping it away from your face without touching the front part of the respirator, then discard. Removing the surgical mask. Pull the straps over your ears and remove the mask away from your face without touching the front part of the mask, then discard. Once again, perform hand hygiene by using hand sanitizer or washing your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Points to remember. There has not been any vaccine available for the cure of coronavirus to date. Therefore, it is important that we observe social distancing of 1.5 meter apart, wear our cloth fabric mask at all times, sanitize or wash our hands regularly, observe cough and sneeze etiquette, correctly don and doff the PPEs. Then stay safe. My UniZulu, your UniZulu, our UniZulu. I thank you.
So I'd like to say thank you to the students who have got to this stage of the video recording and seeing me. You have successfully completed watching all the videos put together by our colleagues. I've been asked to offer a vote of thanks to those who have been involved in the formation and the creation of the videos. I'm Professor Jane Kerr and currently the acting HOD in the Department of Nursing Science. As you know, nursing was the first department to bring in our final year nursing students, which we did around about the 13th of June this year. So this orientation program has been based on our experiences in bringing back our students. I'd like to also say to you that this is going to require from us all a new normal, which I'm sure you have understood from the lectures that have been presented so far. Until we have herd immunity within our communities, we have to make sure that we continue with social distancing, the wearing of masks, and sanitizing of our own hands and our work surfaces, door handles, etc., as was so eloquently put by Mrs. Mandisa Poswa, who is the manager of the Faculty of Science and Agriculture. I would like to thank firstly Dr. Zildwer Linda, who is a lecturer in the Department of Nursing Science, for making sure that this video recording of the orientation program is made available and that everybody contributed as well as they did towards the forming of this presentation. She made it very clear that the intent and the purpose of us making sure that we present this orientation is so that we make sure that you are not harmed and that you are kept safe while you are on campus. We also need to make sure that we respect and ensure the safety of everybody else around us. Mrs. Poswa spoke about the legal requirements, and it remains a legal requirement that we wear masks all the time when we are in contact with other people. Obviously, when you're alone, that's fine, you don't need to wear your mask, but as soon as you are in contact with others, particularly in residences, classrooms, laboratories, etc., mask wearing is mandatory. The Department of Education and Training has formulated rules and regulations and principles which all the universities in South Africa have to follow in order that we comply with the lockdown rules as they apply at whatever time. Currently, we are in stage 1, which is has changed since you came back to campus. As postgraduate students, you are role models to undergraduates. Currently, as far as I'm aware, there are very few undergraduate students back on campus. However, slowly, in this phased-in approach, we will be bringing back more and more. And as such, we expect you to set the example as senior students. Mr. Mabena has presented a wonderful presentation on the library services. And I must say for myself, I even learned things by watching his presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mabena, for your contribution. I think it's going to be very useful, not only for our undergraduates, and our postgraduates, but even for the academics that watch this program. Dr. Madlala, who is also a lecturer in the Department of Nursing Science, has worked hard along with the communications department and other staff in our clinical skills laboratory to put together a live video using the staff in our clinical skills laboratory to create the video which he presents on how to use your personal protective equipment. Please save these recordings so that you can refer back to them when you need to. So my final words are, thank you so much, Dr. Linda, for your input. Mrs. Poersma, for giving up of your time and putting together the presentation that you did, which was very informative. Dr. Madlala, for the many hours that it took to get your video videoed by the communications department, and pleased to thank the staff who were involved. And finally, to Mr. Mabena, also would like to thank you for your time in contributing towards the creation of your video, which I'm sure will be on all the university faculty websites shortly. To the students, good luck, keep distance, wear a mask, sanitize your hands, and thank you so much for watching these videos. It is, or it will ensure that we all keep one another safe, respect one another, and continue to fly the flag of the University of Zululand. Thank you.